Sirens cut through the quiet of rural Nova Scotia on May 2nd. And with that single 911 call, a chain of events was set in motion that would grow into one of the most extensive and carefully controlled RCMP investigations the province has seen in recent years. Whatever was reported in that call was serious enough to immediately raise alarms, mobilize officers, and trigger a response that went far beyond a routine police check. From the very first moments, investigators treated the situation as complex, potentially volatile, and deserving of absolute precision. If you want first-hand updates on this developing story and others like it, now is the moment to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell, because what began with a single phone call has since unfolded into a tightly guarded investigation with many moving parts and very few public answers. The May 2nd 911 call did not just request help. It reshaped an entire area into the center of an unfolding forensic operation. Emergency calls are evaluated quickly, but this one stood out. The nature of the information provided, the urgency in the voice on the line, and the potential implications for public safety all contributed to the rapid escalation. RCMP dispatchers alerted local units. Supervisors were briefed, and within a short time, the situation was elevated from an initial response to a full investigative posture. In cases like this, timing matters. Investigators understand that the earliest hours are critical for preserving evidence, identifying witnesses, and preventing contamination of a possible crime scene. That awareness shaped every decision that followed. The call itself became evidence, logged, recorded, and analyzed for details such as tone, background noise, and precise timestamps. Even before officers arrived on scene, the groundwork for a major investigation was already being laid. Within days of that initial call, investigators made a decisive move. The entire Lansdowne Station property was sealed off. This was not a partial closure or symbolic gesture. The RCMP treated the property as a primary crime scene, restricting access and establishing controlled entry points. Sealing a property of this scale sends a clear message about the seriousness of the investigation. It indicates that investigators believe critical evidence could be located anywhere within the area, not just in one room or one building. By locking down the site early, they reduce the risk of evidence being disturbed, removed, or unintentionally destroyed. Officers documented the condition of the property as they found it, photographing and mapping key areas before any detailed searches began. This careful approach reflects standard RCMP protocol in high-stakes cases, where thoroughness can make the difference between unanswered questions and meaningful conclusions. As attention focused on Lansdowne Station, investigators quickly identified another location of interest nearby, the trailer belonging to Janie McKenzie. Her residence, situated close enough to the main property, became a critical secondary crime scene. This was not a random decision. In investigations of this nature, proximity matters. Anyone living nearby may have unknowingly witnessed events, heard unusual sounds, or noticed movements that could help establish a timeline. The trailer's location placed it within the sensory range of the primary scene, meaning it could hold valuable information even if no crime occurred there directly. Investigators moved carefully, ensuring that the trailer was treated with the same level of respect and procedural rigor as the main property. By designating it a secondary scene, they signaled that its importance lay in context, observation, and corroboration. Janie McKenzie's proximity to the Lansdowne Station property meant she was in a unique position. From her trailer, she may have been able to hear vehicles arriving or leaving, detect raised voices or sudden noises, or observe changes in routine that might otherwise go unnoticed. In rural settings, where the environment is quieter and activity is more visible, even small details can stand out. Investigators understand that witnesses in such locations often hold fragmented but crucial pieces of the puzzle. A sound heard late at night, a light turned on at an unusual hour, or a vehicle parked where it normally would not be can all contribute to a clearer picture of events. By examining the trailer and speaking with its occupant, RCMP aimed to anchor these observations in a reliable timeline, cross-checking them against other evidence gathered at the primary scene. It is important to emphasize that when RCMP searched the trailer, the purpose was verification, not accusation. Law enforcement officials were careful to clarify that the search did not imply guilt or wrongdoing on the part of Janie McKenzie. Instead, it was a necessary step to confirm or rule out information provided during interviews and to ensure that all relevant evidence was accounted for. In major investigations, eliminating uncertainty is just as important as identifying suspects. By thoroughly examining the trailer, investigators could either support or contradict existing accounts, strengthening the overall integrity of the case. This distinction matters, especially in close-knit communities where speculation can spread quickly and unfairly damage reputations. As part of the search process, digital devices were seized to establish precise timelines and communication patterns. In modern investigations, phones, tablets, and computers are often as valuable as physical evidence. They can reveal when messages were sent, calls were made, or apps were accessed. Location data can confirm whether someone was at home, traveling, or near a specific site at a given time. Investigators use this information to build minute-by-minute reconstructions of events, aligning digital records with witness statements and physical findings. The seizure of devices does not automatically suggest suspicious behavior. Rather, it reflects the reality that digital footprints are an essential component of contemporary forensic work. Analysts will spend weeks, sometimes months, extracting and interpreting this data to ensure accuracy. Alongside digital analysis, RCMP teams collected physical evidence from both the main property and the trailer. This included DNA samples, fingerprints, and environmental materials such as soil, fibers, or trace substances. Each item was carefully catalogued, labeled, and sent for laboratory analysis. The goal was not just to find a single piece of incriminating evidence, but to assemble a broader evidentiary picture. DNA can confirm who was present in a particular space. Fingerprints can establish contact with specific objects, and environmental samples can link locations together. This meticulous process requires patience and precision, as contamination or mislabeling can compromise results. Investigators worked systematically, ensuring that every sample met strict evidentiary standards. The fact that the search and evidence collection process stretched over 48 hours speaks volumes about the scope and depth of the investigation. This was not a rushed operation. A two-day forensic effort suggests multiple teams working in shifts, each with specialized roles. Some focused on scene documentation, others on evidence recovery, and still others on preliminary analysis and coordination. Some focused on scene documentation, others on evidence recovery, and still others on preliminary analysis and coordination. Such a timeline reflects a methodical approach designed to leave no stone unturned. Investigators understand that once a scene is released, opportunities to gather untouched evidence are gone forever. The extended duration allowed them to proceed carefully, double-check findings, and ensure that nothing of potential significance was overlooked. Once the initial wave of evidence collection was complete and analysis began, RCMP conducted follow-up interviews. These conversations were informed by the data and materials already gathered, allowing investigators to ask more precise and targeted questions. Follow-up interviews are a critical phase in any investigation, as they help clarify inconsistencies, confirm timelines, and assess the reliability of earlier statements. By waiting until evidence analysis was underway, investigators ensured that these interviews were grounded in facts rather than speculation. This approach increases the likelihood of obtaining accurate information and reduces the risk of misunderstanding or misinterpretation. Despite the scale of the operation and the intense public interest, RCMP have kept their findings confidential. This is a deliberate and strategic choice. Active investigations require discretion to protect their integrity, safeguard potential legal proceedings, and respect the privacy of those involved. Releasing details too early can compromise evidence, influence witness testimony, or fuel unfounded rumors. By maintaining confidentiality, investigators preserve their ability to follow leads wherever they may go, without external pressure or interference. While this silence can be frustrating for the public, it is often a sign that the investigation is ongoing and being handled with care. As this case continues to unfold, one thing is clear: What began with a single 911 call has evolved into a comprehensive, tightly controlled investigation that spans properties, technologies, and timelines. Every step taken by the RCMP reflects a commitment to thoroughness and accuracy, even when answers are slow to emerge. The key takeaway is not just the scale of the response, but the discipline behind it. In situations like this, patience is not a lack of progress. It is a necessary part of the process. And as long as the investigation remains active, the focus remains on uncovering the truth, wherever it leads, and ensuring that when answers do come, they are grounded in evidence, not speculation.